You're watching ATN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to talk King Kong versus Godzilla. Modern day. Modern day. Alright, so a couple of months back, I made a video called King Kong versus Godzilla, Can or Will It Happen? And it's turned out to be one of the more popular videos on my channel. And since then, I've had a lot of people asking me to do another video regarding it, talking about it, any potential other things. And it's really kind of taken a while because really, I really didn't know what else to talk about outside of that. But again, if it's requested enough, I will do it. King Kong versus Godzilla, modern times. So the first thing I'm going to do is break some hearts. Okay? I'm going to talk about why this won't happen. First and foremost, too many chiefs involved, okay? One thing we got to consider is that if you're going to try and make a modern day King Kong versus Godzilla, you got to please 4 different companies. Universal, Legendary, Toho, and Warner Brothers. Yes, Warner Brothers is still latched on to the Legendary Godzilla series. So, and I got to be honest, as much as I would love for this movie to happen, and it's not even because I'm a King Kong versus Godzilla fan, because I actually didn't like the movie, but of course I want it to happen because I know what it could do for the genre, and I know just how much potential bucks it can bring in, which would only further propel the genre. It's too much. It's too much. It's just too many companies involved. First of all, Toho is very picky about what monsters you put up against Godzilla, okay? Which is what I'm sure they wanted to kind of bring in their monsters for the second, respectively the third movie potentially. Now, the other thing is, Universal obviously has King Kong, Legendary has the rights to Godzilla, and I believe Warner Brothers still has the rights to distribute the movie. So, a lot of different things playing the role here, you know, and I think when you have that many companies involved when it comes to trying to do a cross movie, I mean, look how hard it is right now for what we think is negotiations between Marvel and Sony for Spider-Man. So that's 2 companies. Now, put 4 in the mix. One being very sensitive about their product, that being Toho. It just even, I think honestly it's been spoken about. I think there's been ideas tossed around, but I don't think it's been pursued that hard because when it really comes down to brass tacks, it'll be hard to pull off. Plus, you got to consider this. All right, so if you make a King Kong versus Godzilla movie, right? You have the potential to make a lot of money. The King Kong versus Godzilla movie from back in the 60s made a slew of money. Tons of money. So there's probably still a market there. And also when you consider potentially the success of Kong Skull Island, which would presumably come out a couple years before this planned King Kong versus Godzilla, you have potential for money here. All right. Now it's easy to sit back because even I've done this and kind of see something formulating like that when you consider where Pacific Rim is, where Godzilla's going, Skull Island. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to plan for something. And you know what? Maybe they are. But that doesn't mean they're going to be able to pull it off. You know, there's just so many intangibles involved that it's more likely that it won't get done. So let's say presumably they make this movie. They're estimating they can make upwards to $1 billion worldwide, blah, blah, blah. Even if they could do that, okay, remember that a certain percentage of that revenue goes right to the marketing that they paid for before the movie. Before you know it, you're splitting up, what? A couple $100 million between 4 production companies. You know, now with that said, to be fair, they could all equally invest in the promotion of the movie. However, I will be fair, Toho won't. Let's just be real. Toho is not going to invest that. Okay, you know, basically Warner Brothers did all the promoting for Godzilla 2014, including worldwide. So I don't see Toho getting into the mix, especially after investing their own money to redo another Godzilla movie that was supposed to be coming out next year. And God only knows they'll probably do another one 2 years after that, 3 years after that. So there's just so many intangibles against it that unfortunately I don't see it happening. I don't. On the flip side of that, it does look like there are some things circulating that would tell you that's the direction they're going in. Legendary goes to Universal, who just happens to have King Kong, and Legendary has Pacific Rim, and, you know, Toho obviously working with Legendary with Godzilla and this and that. You know, there's a lot of things that say, wow, they're kind of building their own Marvel version of the kaiju universe. And technically King Kong's not a kaiju, but, you know, he's kind of been adopted into that genre because of his popularity, because of the fact that he faced the King of Monsters. because of his own very popularity here in the States. I mean, you could pretty much say that he's like the number one. He's to us what Godzilla is to Japan, even though a lot of Americans like Godzilla as well. So you could say that all signs point towards some sort of big crossover. And as much as I would love it to happen just for the sheer nerdgasm and just for being a fanboy, realistically, I don't see it happening. But we can dream. And oh God, I would love to be wrong. And yeah, there's part of me that still believes that there's a chance. There's always a chance, and, one thing I've learned while doing my YouTube channels is that never say never. I've seen so many people be so sure only to come back and it wasn't a certainty. Nothing is ever a certainty, especially when it comes to entertainment, because we're not there. We're not there when these companies negotiate. We're not there when they're talking. I can guarantee you, I feel confident enough to say that they've at least spit the idea of a King Kong versus Godzilla. At least, maybe sat down, Gareth and Max and a couple of people, say, damn, wouldn't it be cool if we can make a King Kong versus Godzilla movie? And let's talk to Toho. Let's see what they feel. Let's talk to them and see what they feel. Things like that. That's how things start. That's how the Godzilla 2014 movie started. It was just, Yoshimatsu Bano was going to make his, Smog Monster sequel, and he went to Legendary for help. Legendary was like, hey, what if we just make a full movie? And he's like, yeah, and then boom, there you go, Godzilla, 7-8 years later. So there's always a chance. It's just unlikely. It's just unlikely because there's just too many swell-headed executives involved. One's going to want more than the other, and oh, well, that's our monster, and we don't know if we wanted to face Godzilla because if it loses, because the Americans are American, and America, and King Kong's American, and so I don't even think Gareth would let King Kong win, to be honest with you, but yeah, I just think it would be great. I think it would be great for the fans. Even the fans who don't like the idea would still go and see it. So one way or another, it's going to succeed if it were to happen. Unfortunately, I don't think it will. I think you're more likely to get a Godzilla Pacific Rim crossover than you are to get King Kong and Godzilla. But one thing I did say in my last video, and I will say it here, when the time comes for us to go and see King Kong, and if King Kong has not been revealed throughout the promotions and the marketing up to that point, and we step in that theater, and they show King Kong for the first time, and he is humongous, that is the answer to your question. Because the only reason they would debut this new Kong at such a huge size would be to set him up to fight Godzilla. Otherwise, you can expect a regular sized Kong, 30 feet tall tops, and we'll see what happens from there. But, I'm not, look, I would love to see it. I'm not trying to shit on people's dreams. Keep dreaming about it, because if it does happen, you'll be happy. Just don't expect it. That's the best way to put it. Don't expect it. Hope for it, but don't expect it. I personally would like to see it simply because of what it could do for the genre. It would just further propel its popularity. I was never a fan of Godzilla vs. King Kong from the 60s. I thought Kong's suit looked horrible. Godzilla's suit was just as bad. The only thing I liked about that suit were his gigantic claws. I thought those were cool, but they didn't even utilize them. He should have been scratching up Kong, but outside of that, I wasn't a big fan of the movie. I do think there's certain elements about that old movie that they could utilize in the new movie to explain Kong's size. For example, the juice that they drank on the island. Maybe that's what got him to be so big. Maybe there's something in that juice that just kind of enhances your height or your ability to grow. Also enhances your intelligence. Apes obviously very intelligent, or gorillas, I should say. But, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Time will tell. So hope for the best. Don't expect it. If we get it, great, fantastic. We'll all be in the theater to watch it. But if we don't, it doesn't matter, because we're still getting Kong one way or another. We're still getting Godzilla one way or another, and Pacific Rim is on its way. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. This is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit ETN's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description. You're watching ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to talk King Kong versus Godzilla. Modern day. Modern day. Alright, so a couple of months back, I made a video called King Kong versus Godzilla, Can or Will It Happen? And it's turned out to be one of the more popular videos on my channel. And since then, I've had a lot of people asking me to do another video regarding it, talking about it, any potential, other things. And it's really kind of taken a while because really, I really didn't know what else to talk about outside of that. But again, if it's requested enough, I will do it. King Kong versus Godzilla, modern times. So the first thing I want to do is break some hearts. Okay? I'm going to talk about why this won't happen. First and foremost, too many Chiefs involved, okay? One thing we got to consider is that if you're going to try and make a modern day King Kong versus Godzilla, you got to please 4 different companies: Universal, Legendary, Toho, and Warner Brothers. Yes, Warner Brothers is still latched on to the Legendary Godzilla series. So, and I got to be honest,